Hi, welcome back to my channel, Open the Door. This is episode 163, and it's a different kind of episode. Today starts my series of story times. It's all true stuff, things that really happened. As you saw in the title, I was asked the question, are you afraid to die? So stay tuned to find out what my answer was and who asked me that question in the first place. So if you're a regular viewer to my channel, you might remember that I was raised in the religious background in the Catholic Church, and I attended Catholic school for the first 8 years of school. So 1st through 8th grade, I attended a Catholic school. Okay, when I was about 7 or 8 years old, so it couldn't have been more than 3rd grade, I feel like it was 2nd grade, the nun had just finished teaching us about the concepts that Catholicism abides by, which has to do with after we die, you either go to heaven or a place called purgatory or to hell. And purgatory is sort of the waiting room where you're supposed to burn away the stain of sin before you're clean enough to enter heaven. That's the basic concept behind it. So the nun had just finished teaching us all about heaven and purgatory and hell. And she was telling us that we have a vengeful God, and if we sin, he's angered, and also there's different levels of sins. So there's venial sins. Venial sins are the more minor sins, like a little lie, and then there's mortal sins that they teach you about, which are very serious sins, like murder, like killing somebody. Oh gosh, I probably shouldn't have said that. Anyhow, so she had talked about the levels of sins too, and after she explained all of these concepts to us, she asked the class, now, after everything I've taught you, is there anyone in here who's not afraid to die? Well, without even thinking, I just naturally raised my hand. And I looked around the room, and I was the only person with my hand up. So she zeroed in on me and started asking questions. She asked, why was I not afraid to die? And I couldn't explain that exactly, but what I said to her was, sister, I'm not afraid of what follows. I'm not afraid what's on the other side. I'm afraid of how I might die, but I'm not afraid to find out what comes next. And she was floored. She didn't know how to respond to that. So she basically distracted the class, told us to turn to page 32 and moved on with it. I'm pretty sure she jotted down some notes about my comment and may have brought it up at the next parent-teacher conference with my parents. But the point of this story is that even at that young age, I knew there was more to it than what I was being told. I had the knowing even at a very young age. The knowing is just exactly what it sounds like. The ability to know things without ever being told. And I have a knowing that there's nothing to fear beyond the veil. Crossing over, dying, however you like to term that, can be something as easy as walking into the next room. So no, I'm not afraid to die. I never have been. I never will be. And that's my story. That's all I have. There's no great lesson in all of this. It's just giving you a little insight into me and how I viewed the world around me and the world beyond from a very young age. So that's it. I'm curious to hear what you have to say about this story. And do you want more stories? Because I've got some really good ones. So that's it for now. Take good care. I will see you again very soon. Have a great day. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.